Hello and welcome to this video. For this video, we are going to be talking about the Tony Elumelu Foundation grant. It has been a tradition over the years since the application started to share tips on how you can submit your application and win the grants. We do not have any partnership or affiliations with the foundation. We're just offering advice based on our previous engagement with some people who had gone on to win the grant. So for this year, we've had a sneak peek into the application questions from our community members who have shared some of the questions with us, and we thought to scale the insights that we've shared in our community onto across Africa. So for everyone who is thinking about applying for the TEF grant, you would find this video quite practical and quite helpful. And may I also add that people get disqualified from the program automatically. So if you're going to progress to the next stage, you would get your decision automatically when you submit. There are quizzes you have to answer. So after you filled your profile, you filled your business details, there are around 10 questions that you have to answer to prove eligibility. They want to test your enterprise knowledge. So if you do badly in these 10 questions, you're going to get disqualified automatically, and the program will refer you to go and take a basic entrepreneurship management quiz. And I must advise you not to apply again, because if you apply again, they will find you out. And even if you have been selected for the grant funding, you would be removed from the program and you won't be able to apply again for life. So if you've applied and you've taken the test and you failed, take us a feedback and then go on to do the TEF management training and improve your entrepreneurship skills and try again next year. Because what's the point of applying again and then scaling through and then waiting to the whole process and getting removed from the program? So I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth your time. So I do wish that you can pass the test, then wait for the TEF team to review your application. So after you've answered the questions, the TEF team will review if you proceed. If you don't get disqualified, if you answer the questions, the quiz questions correctly, they will move your application to the next stage, which is the review. And if they review you and you are successful, then they will shortlist you to the next stage of the program. I must also mention that they have a lot of ways they verify the credibility of candidates. So I think in the past they will come visit you in person in your offices, in your business. So ensure that you're putting the right address, ensure that you're using your WhatsApp number, because most of the times I think they will contact you via WhatsApp to say, oh, we are coming to see you. We have a case last year where someone has given a WhatsApp number that they don't use often. This individual has two WhatsApp numbers, so they have given a WhatsApp number that they don't use often, and that was the place the foundation contacted this individual, and the individual didn't use the WhatsApp for the longest time period. By the time he switched to that WhatsApp, it was too late, as they have already shortlisted candidates. So make sure that you're giving and providing your correct email address, your correct WhatsApp details, and take time, to answer the questions. The quiz is around 10 questions, and you have around 40 minutes, which I think is good enough to, respond to the questions. I'll just go straight to the point. No time for long stories, and I'll present a slide after now. Yeah, so welcome to the slide. So we're going to go straight to the point and answer all of the essay questions on the application. So not really answering, but providing guidance and advice on our opinion on the best way to answer the questions. But obviously, our opinion comes from our experience helping startup businesses and advising startup businesses, over the years win the grant. So, the very first question that you see before this question anyway, there's gonna be a lot of bio questions like they want to get your name, your profile, your ID card, just basic questions, your address before you get into the business section of the grant. So at this stage, you have submitted your profile. Then the next stage would be this stage of discussing about yourself and your business. So in this experience, so in this stage, they'll be asking you more of personal questions and questions about your experiences and then about your businesses. So the first question in this section will be tell us about yourself. I've been looking through some applications of people who are applying, and you see things like, oh, I am XYZ, I am 30 years old, I am from here, I am from that. That's not needed. Remember, there's a word count. I think between 100 to 200, between 100 to 200 and what counts available from what we've seen. And you don't want to waste your word count talking about the information they already have. They already have your name in the section preceding this one. So they've asked your name, they've asked for your date of birth, which gives them an idea of how old you are. They've asked for your address, which they've asked for your address, which gives them an idea of where you live or where you come from. So you don't want to waste all of that time talking about that. So tell us about yourself. So you're going straight into sharing about, your professional background. It could be about your degree. You start by saying, "Oh, I hold this degree in so thing." That is if your degree is relevant to the business you're applying for, right? So if say you are doing something in healthcare and you're a doctor or a nurse, it will be very useful to say, "Oh, I am a nurse," and then you go on to talk about, "I've had 2, 3, 4, 5 years of experience working as a nurse in so place." Remember, it's not okay to just say I am this. It's even better to say I am this and look at what I've achieved with that position. You go on to introduce your business. You can say I am XYZ, I'm the founder of ABCD, and look at what my company does and look at the experience I've had. I've worked in ABC company, I've worked in DEF company. The whole idea is that by knowing more about yourself, the foundation can say for sure that this person has what it takes to execute the idea they are proposing. All right. So if I'm proposing an idea in healthcare, for instance, and then I'm saying, "Oh, I am a salesperson in ABC company, in the EF company," the alignment might not be there. I mean, they might want to give you the grant anyway. There's no cast of stone, but I feel like they will take somebody who has got a medical experience in the past more seriously than they will take somebody who is just without any experience at all, or who had worked in somewhere else where their background does not align with what they are pursuing. Then it's a short word count. So at the end of the word count, you're expected to say something about what inspired you to become an entrepreneur. All right. So you've told about yourself and what you do, and then you can now end up or somewhere in your writing saying, "I've decided to do this because of this." It's good to put a little bit of that. That might be the place where you talk about your passion. I'm passionate about creating this, that. Just keep it in there and make your intro, your bio, very rich. So the next question you will likely see is your leadership skills and experiences. So in this section, it's more about how you've led initiatives. Because at the end of the day, for you to be a successful entrepreneur, you must be a leader, right? So you must be a leader. you must have leadership traits. So there are different things that make up a leader. In the workplace, in your community, have you taken up any leadership, role? And leadership roles and experiences does not necessarily have to be about leading people. It's also about making an impact, making a change. It could be about volunteering to a cause. It could be about supporting the vulnerable people. In that circumstance, you are leading, you are making a change. So think about all of the things you've done in the past, your leadership experiences, and let them know all of that here. But whilst discussing your leadership experience, it's good to also highlight the specific skills you've developed, while leading in these areas. It could be that you led, a small community of farmers, and you taught them how to plant a certain kind of crop, and then you could chip in to say, in the process of teaching them, you've learned how to work with a team, you've learned how to communicate effectively. So one hand is for you to discuss your leadership skills and your leadership experience, and then the other hand is for you to discuss the skills you've learned or you've honed in the process of that experience. Then the next question we'll likely find somewhere in the application is, what problem does a product solve? Right. So here you're discussing about, you first, how I would answer that question is I'll start by discussing, the product or service that I offer. Describe the product or service, and then you describe the problem that this product or service is solving. So remember, people buy your product or services because of the problem it will solve for them. So think about your audience. What exactly is that product or services you're offering going to solve for them? How will it make their life easier? So this is something you want to think about while answering this question. And it is helpful to give specific details and not to sound very, vague, or give bogus descriptions. So go straight to the point. If you're a farmer, for instance, it could be that you are farming using green processes, like you're using things like hydroponic. You can go straight to the point to say, oh, we are using a soilless technology to plant in the city, and then go on to say why you think that's the best. It could be that the crops planted with hydroponics are much more healthier. It could be that they are much more cost effective. It could be anything. It could be that the soil texture is better. So talk about the product and talk about the problem you're solving, and then talk about, like, obviously, if it is more nutritious, the end game will be that people who will buy what you're growing is going to get maybe 10, 20, 30% more nutrition from what they are eating. So discuss the product, discuss the problem, and give specific details about how your product is solving that problem, and for whom that problem is being solved for. So what was, there's a question, this question has always been there, like for ages. They'll say, tell us something about your idea that would, really wow us, literally. So, there's a lot of following the bandwagon going on. Everybody is into agriculture, everybody's into technology, and people normally say there will never be another, Facebook, there will never be another Instagram, there will never be another, you know, Dangote, stuff like that. Not people who successful in other areas of businesses, but what makes people extremely successful is because they have a wow factor. So the foundation will ask you to discuss up to three factors why you think your idea, your business is like wow. It's so when you're discussing your idea to somebody and they're like, wow, that's the feeling. Like it's really cool. It's really inspiring what you're doing. So that's like the effect they want to get from this section. So spend every word in this section discussing the novelty of your business, the wow factor, and blow their mind literally. So before I move on, it could be something that has to do with the technology you've adopted. It could be the impact that your business would make. It could be a long-lasting problem in society your business will solve. It could be the um, revenue prospect of your business. Just think about a lot of things that you could put in the section that will really blow the mind of anyone who is listening to you. So the next question would be your market, your address. Next question will be your market, your addressable market. So it's just pretty straightforward. So who are you selling to? Literally, that's the question. Who are you selling to? Um, so you can't sell to the whole world, especially as you are still starting your business. As big as Facebook is, there's still a lot of people who don't use Facebook. As big as Twitter is, there are millions, if not billions, of people who don't use Twitter. So now talk more of your idea. So as you're still a small business, it's good to have a niche, to have a target market where you focus. So the foundation wants to know your area of focus, where your business is focused to service at this point of your growth and your journey. So who are they? Are they old people? Are you selling a product to old people? Or is it for kids? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they located? You can, I mean, at the early stages, it might be a bit vague to say I'm selling to the whole of Nigeria. That might be a bit vague, but it might be a bit more helpful to say, oh, at the moment I'm selling to people in Lagos, people in Benue State, to people in Sokoto, and then also show that there's a section of you discuss that current milestone and next milestone. There you discuss what you're doing now and what you want to do in the future. But on your market, focus on your target market. If at all you're selling to the whole of Nigeria, then explain it in a way that it's not vague, right? So, for instance, you have that network, that distributorship to distribute your products across Nigeria. If you are into delivery, for instance, your courier service, and you say you service the whole Nigeria with your courier services, it might be a bit vague, isn't it? So, how many? They are only giving you $5,000. $5,000 is not going to be enough for you to buy the bikes and the vehicles you need to spread across the country. But if you're into Korea, for instance, and you're focusing in Port Harcourt, it makes more sense to say, oh, I'll start with 3 bikes in Port Harcourt. So yeah, in this particular section, they want you to talk about your target market. Who are they? Are they small businesses? Are they big businesses? Where are they? So the location of where they are, and how many are they? In this a bit tricky getting data, but if you go online and Google, you might get clues of how big a market is, and how much it's worth really. So I think Google will be your friend here. Make your research, try to find, or you can even. This session is not to talk about. It's not to discuss how to get your target market, but it's quite straightforward. If you, for instance, servicing small businesses in Port Harcourt, for instance, you want to research online to see how many small businesses are there in Port Harcourt. Now that will give you an idea of how many people are there. You know, if you're researching, say, post-harvest losses in Nigeria, for instance, you want to Google how much loss does Nigeria make every year from post-harvest losses. All those data are there online, so you have to put in the work and get the information you need. So revenue model is how would you make money? This thing you're selling, how are you going to make money? So the foundation only funds business ideas. So they don't fund charity. So they want to see that you have plans to make money out of this thing. So in this section, you discuss how you make money, but you also discuss the channels that you make that money from. It could be that you are going to make money from selling your products. It could be that you're going to make money from selling your service. It could be that you're going to make money from subscription. But there are a lot of revenue models. It could be that you're going to make money from freemium model. People are going to use a product for free for the first 1 month before they start paying. It could be that you're going to make money from partnership and collaborations. In this section, you just want to be clear about how you're going to make money and, if possible, the channels through which that money will come from. marketing strategy. In the earlier section, you discussed about your target market. Here, they're asking you, how are you going to reach this target market? How are you going to sell to them? How are you going to reach them to let them know about what you're selling? The channels. I mean, if you are servicing a rural communities, if you're offering, elderly care, for instance, to women in rural communities, I'm not sure you get them via social media. It could be that you would partner with, a local council, for instance, to reach them. So you have to think really well. These questions look quite easy, but they're not as easy as you think. You have to think really well about who are you selling to. If you're selling to the Gen Zs, young people, then you can likely find them on social media. You can find them on TikTok. You can find them on Instagram. And then it makes sense when you say, oh, you use targeted ads to reach them. But if you're reaching an older demography, you're reaching farmers in rural communities, social media is still good. Most of them are on social media, but that isn't enough. You have to show that you would go beyond social media to actually go into these remote areas that might be disconnected from the internet to actually reach them and sell your product or services to them. So competition. I think from what I saw in this section, they talked about you have to list three businesses that are your competitors. And don't say you don't have competitors. Even if you don't have a direct competitor, you surely do have an indirect competitor. So list people who are in the same line of business with you. So direct competitors are the people who are doing exactly what you're doing. Indirect competitors are the people who they are not doing exactly what you're doing, but their products can also solve the problem that your customers have. So think in these two lines, and you surely see something or someone doing that. Now, after you've listed your computer, there's a section to now talk about your differentiating factor. How do you differ from these competitors you have listed earlier? So focus on the unique things you're offering, and why you think people will prefer what you're selling to what the other guys have. Yeah, I talked about milestone. So here in milestone, there's two sections. So in the first section, you're discussing what you're currently doing, where you are at the moment. The foundation wants to know where you are at the moment. What have you done? It could be that you've registered your business. It could be that you've launched an MVP of your business. It could be that you have started selling to people. It could be that you're even in your growth stage and you're looking to scale. It could be that you're in your market entry stage. So just discuss what you're doing. It's not enough, in my opinion, to say you're doing nothing. You've done nothing. I'm not sure the foundation will take very keen interest on you if you haven't done anything. So it's good to have done something at least to show seriousness. And then your next milestone will be about what you want to do next. Think about it in this way. If you get the funding from the foundation, what is the next steps you're going to take about your business? So this is the area where you discuss that next milestone and your plans for the future. Yeah, so in this session, you're talking about your financials. And it's important to know that TEF wants to see the financials in USD. So whatever money you're going to put here, should be converted into the USD. So the first question they're asking here is the total amount of cash invested to date in the startup. So this means how much capital have you put into this business to date. So check how much money you've put so far. It could be your money for rent, money for equipment, your operational expenses. So how much money in total have you invested to this business up to the point of your application? So that has to do a lot of work. So go back to your record and then make that calculations. Right? If you're still an idea, it could be that you've spent money on your business registration, you spent money on your market research, on doing your website or your logo, whatever money you've put into the business, this is where to put it, and convert it to dollars. Then the next one is your monthly expenses. So they're asking you how much money do you spend on this business every month, right? So they want to know how much money you spend every month. So calculate money you spend monthly. It could be your monthly rent, and if you pay your rent on a yearly basis. You have to divide it by 12 to get the monthly expenses, isn't it? So yeah, look at your money for electricity, and if there's any fee you pay on a yearly basis, then you have to convert that fee into into monthly to get that value. So again, convert it to USD and put it here. The next thing they're asking you is your break-even revenue. So what is the break-even? Break-even simply means at what point are you going to start making profits? So you started your business and you're selling, and you're making revenue. So how much money do you need to make to become profitable? So one way to think about it is you have invested $5,000 into your business, right? $5,000 into your business. Your break-even revenue will be something above 5,000. It could be 5,100. So if you've invested $5,000 into your business and you've made $3,000, you have not broken even. So whenever you hear break even, just think about profits. So they're referring to profit. So if you invest $5,000 into your business, your break even would be something around 5,100, anything above 5,000. So let's say you've invested $4,000 into your business. If you made 3,500, you've not become profitable. You've not recovered the capital. But if you invested 4,000 and you make 4,500, it means you have made a profit on your business by $500. So they're asking you, how much money do you need to make to break even? That's the next question. The other question is break even volume. The former one is break even revenue. So they're talking about money. How much money do you need to make to become profitable? Then the next question is break even volume. This is talking about what's the quantity of your product or service do you need to sell? What quantity of your product or service do you need to sell to become profitable? So if you've decided or if you've seen that your break even revenue is $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever it is, and you are selling eggs, how much eggs do you need to sell? How much eggs do you need to sell to make that money back? So if you're selling fish, how much fish do you need to sell? How many fish do you need to sell to raise $6,000? If you're a tailor, your break-even volume will be the quantity of cloth you need to make to generate the revenue that will make you profit. So the impact. This section is more socially inclined. So here they want to understand what impact is your business having on your customers, on the community, on the society. It could be that it's helping increase life expectancy. It could be that it's a better product, value for money. Just think about the impact of your service or product is having on the people who are using it. You also think about the impact it's having in the community. It could be that your business is going to create jobs for everyone. It's going to employ people. It's going to empower women. Think when answering this section, wear your social lenses and really think how your business can be a force for good. For good, think about the impact your business could be making or is making in people's lives and in the community at large. The next one is challenges. Every business has challenges, so they want to know that you understand that you would face challenges and very big challenges indeed. So think about the weakness you have, the threats to your business. Uh, think about SWOT analysis. Really. So think about the strengths, the weakness of your business, and highlight them here. So if you say you don't have any challenge, they will know you're not serious. Really, every business has its challenges, so they want to see that you understand that here. Aims and objective, which happens to be the last question in the in this section. So I think what they're asking here is what you stand to benefit from being a part of the program. So what's your aim of applying? What have you applied to the program, and how is this program going to help you and your business succeed? So this is a section you want to spend more time discussing this. So thank you for watching all through, and I wish you the very best as you go on to apply for your program.